on the primary election. Just before 3 o'clock this morning, the Guam Election Commission completed the tabulations for Saturday's primary. As reported, only 2 people do not advance to the general election. Everyone else that was on the ballot moves on to November. The 2 candidates that do not move on are Romeo Carlos, who ran under the Republican ticket as senator, and Matthew Artero, who was running against incumbent Madeline Verdallo in the Democrat primary for delegate. Even though only 2 don't move on, let's take a look at the numbers anyway. Starting with the congressional race in the Democrat primary, incumbent Madeline Verdallo came away with 5,882 votes over Matthew Artero's 2,008 votes. Margaret Metcalf, who automatically moves to the general election, had an impressive showing of 6,720 votes during Saturday's primary. Former Governor Carl Gutierrez and his running mate, attorney Gary Gumatao, garnered 7,301 votes, while the Republicans' Calvo Tenorio garnered 10,983 votes. In the Democrat senatorial primary, there were only 15 running and all 15 advanced. But here's how the numbers ended up. The top 8 spots went to the incumbents. Number 1 was Frank Uggan Jr. with 6,532 votes, followed by Dennis Rodriguez Jr., B.J. Cruz, Tom Ada, Michael San Nicolas. At number 6 was Tina Muñoz Barnes, 7 Roy Respicio, and at number 8 Speaker Judy Wanpat with 5,765 votes. At number 9 was former DOE Superintendent Dr. Narissa Underwood, followed by former Senators Dr. Judy Guthertz and Adolfo Palacios, as well as Hope Cristobal. Placing 13th was Derek Baza Hills, 14 newcomer and veteran Rodney Cruz, and 15 was Frank Ngata. Over to the Republican senatorial primary. Again, 16 candidates were running, only 15 move on. Your top 15 were at number 1, Minority Leader Senator Tony Ada, followed by Senator Tommy Morrison with 8,759 votes. Former Senator Jim S. Baldon coming up big with 8,298 votes. Number 4 was Senator Chris Duenas. 5, former Senator Frank Bloss Jr. Impressive showing for newcomer Will Castro, followed by number 7, incumbent Ali Yamashita. 8, Brent McCready. Number 9, Adonis Minjola from DYA. At 10, with 6,877 votes, Glenn Leon Guerrero, followed by former Port General Manager Mary Torres, Roland Bloss, Michelle Titano, Felix Beneventi, and rounding out the top 15 was Val Perez. Number 16 and not moving on is Romeo Carlos. As for the lone partisan race, or the lone nonpartisan race on the ballot for Attorney General, even though retired Judge Elizabeth Barrett Anderson took the primary over incumbent Leonardo Rapadas by almost double, because of the way the law is written, the 2 will still have to battle it out again in the November general election. You can read those results in more detail on KUAM.com. Now, shortly after the count was completed, the Election Commission Board met briefly to discuss how they will move forward. According to Chairman Joe Mesa, they will be meeting on the Labor Day holiday to go over some of the discrepancies that arose during Saturday's primary election.
In any election, you got your bumps in the road. One of the unexpected bumps we had is about this blank one-sided ballot and so forth. Disappointed in the turnout, 42%. It's the lowest we've ever had, in be it a gubernatorial or just a legislature. But there was not that many contests, so I can see that being a major part of it.
Representatives from the political parties have been invited to attend, as the Election Commission will immediately begin reviewing every single ballot that was counted. They will also count the write-in votes and go over the 80 provisional ballots. The results at the earliest will be certified 10 days after the primary, or by September 9th. Monday's meeting starts at 10 o'clock in the morning. Democrat candidate former Governor Carl Gutierrez, in the meantime, says he's hoping the Election Commission gets to the bottom of what happened with the ballots that were not printed correctly, so they can move on with the campaign. Gutierrez was drafted to run for office.
I think that there were other problems with the election process, other problems with the printing of the ballots, and the complaints that have come in, so that we need to get the Guam Election Commission to reevaluate what happened. Because this election, once you got something wrong from the outset, from the beginning, where ballots are not printed correctly, where one side of a ballot is not there, like the Democratic side, and only the Republican side is printed, then you got to reevaluate what is this election all about. But it was slow, and I hope that it'll pick up the tempo, because independents would make up about 70% of our island. They don't vote in the primaries. But I hope that they'll clean this thing up so we can go out and campaign well and make the determination of who's going to be the next governor in November.
If successful in November, Gutierrez says he will call the community together and plan a vision for Guam to extricate it from its debt and will drive the economy by seeking off-island investments. As for the Democrat senatorial primary, again, everyone moves forward. Last night, we caught up with some of the candidates who shared what they plan to focus on should they get elected. Incumbent Senator Tom Ada and newcomer and youngest candidate on the ballot, Derek Baza-Hills.
Of course, generally I want to focus on economic development of our island and on the issues related to public safety. You know, in the area of economic development, I want to continue focusing on the issues related to transportation, our public infrastructure, and of course public safety in general. Now, the reason why those particular functional areas are very important is, in particular in the area of transportation, is that 80% of the goods that we consume come through our port. So it's important that we have a very efficient port of entry there.
I think we need to focus on a mission which is 3 top things that I want to do if elected, and the people of Guam give me that opportunity. Job creation, by making sure that education is affordable for many of our young folks who are going to the University of Guam and the Guam Community College, and for families who want to send their kids to the university and GCC. So when you grow education and making it affordable, you're also opening the doors to higher paying quality jobs.
Let's move to the Republicans now. Like the Democrats, the gubernatorial team of incumbent Gov Calvo and Ray Tenorio, they already advanced to the general election in November. The Republican duo said as they made their rounds during Saturday's primary, the crowds were very positive, vibrant, and optimistic.
Well, I think there's an important story to be told here. It's about a movement that is encapsulated by all the Republicans. It's not just the Calvo Tenorio team, but it's again our candidate for Congress. It's our senatorial slate. This is a team that has excited the people, and again, it goes back to hard work. Where all the candidates have been going through the villages, meeting with the people. Man, I tell you, our pocket meetings over these past few months, they sure seem like mass meetings. And we do believe that with the enthusiasm that's coming out of this team, this movement, from the results of what we've done as an administration in enhancing the lives of all our people here in Guam, that's excitement enough for the people to come out for a primary. And then, of course, from there, build the momentum for November.
At the Calvo Tenorio headquarters, several other candidates were thanking their supporters and looking forward to the race to November, including senatorial candidate Roland Blas and Republican congressional candidate Margaret Metcalf.
Up to their full potential. I just want to tell you that I'm so...
We have 2 more months. I have 2 more months to work harder in the last and final game to win for victory. And now it's a new ball game starting tomorrow when I wake up, because now it's seeking everyone, black or white, Catholic or Protestant, Democrat or Republican. As my slogan said in 2012, one island, one people. And I am ready to be given that seat in the Guam legislature to strive, fight, and stand for one island, one people, one paradise.
Well, my platform is multi-pronged. Right now we have major things coming down the pike, but the most important thing is that we are at a situation where Guam is at a crossroads. It's a critical crossroads. We need to determine what we're going to do about how we're perceived by the U.S. You've seen a number of the statements coming through from our own president, you know, challenging us on the fact that we may be viewed as second-class citizens. This is something we as a people can't tolerate, and we need to get on the road and start impressing people on the mainland, on our importance, Guam's importance to the American and to the American way of life.
Again, only one person running under the Republican banner did not advance to the November election, that being Romeo Carlos, who ran for senator, and one on the Democrat side of the ballot not advancing, that being Matthew Artero. Well,